Welcome to this week's episode of Serving the Community podcast. Each week, your host Trisha Stutzel is highlighting people and organizations in our communities that are serving through volunteer work and giving back to make our community, country, and even the world a kinder place to live. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Serving the Community. My name is Trisha Stutzel and founder of this podcast. I'm really excited about the guest that I have on today. She and I met through BNI. And if you're not familiar with that, go check it out. Business Network International. It's a great organization to grow your business by referral, which is amazing. So I would like to welcome my guest, MJ Aguilar, founder of Little Angel Network. MJ, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm very excited. I know we talked a couple of weeks ago about your organization, and I even got emotional when we were having a conversation because it's something that touches me, and I know that it will touch a lot of people. So if you would introduce yourself first, MJ, and then let's talk about Little Angel Network.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, MJ Aguilar, founder of Little Angel Network. We just started here in August of 2022, but it's been a phenomenal journey so far. So we're excited. And again, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. So MJ, tell me about Little Angel Network.
Yeah, absolutely. So unfortunately, as many nonprofits, it's found out of hardship. I lost my daughter 15 years ago, went through just a horrendous amount of surgeries after I lost her there in 2007. Through that journey, though, my body just went through just a horrible amount of different types of emotions. So long story short, shortly after going back to work after losing my daughter, I just sat down at my desk and said, you know what, no one should go through this, not a mom, not a family. And just the lack of resources and help that I did not receive and support, I wanted to be able to return that back to somebody. Wrote that Little Angel Network down on a notepad, kept it for 15 years, kept it in my heart, but really did nothing with it until this past August. So it's an organization that, again, I knew right away I needed help in physical, emotional, spiritual. I needed all of those pillars to really just start balancing myself back out, along with just being a mom of already, 2 boys that I had, and then my third one who survived. So this is what we do. We help families and moms who've lost a child during birth, miscarriage, or stillbirth, really just helping them and giving them the support and resources that they need immediately after hospital care. So we're excited to be able to be a resource.
Yeah, and it's amazing work that you're doing, MJ, and I'm so glad that you're able to bring this to the communities. And when you and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, you talked about those pillars. So can you explain a little more what those resources are that Little Angel Network provides?
Yes, absolutely. So I feel the emotional pillar is extremely important. I didn't come to know that until, honestly, being able to talk to others through this building of the foundation or building of our nonprofit I really needed counseling. I really needed that mental health support. So as we're boots on the ground, building relationships with hospitals and angel partners who are, nutritionists, professional licensed counselors, I feel that emotional pillar to really just sit down with somebody and be able to talk through that, through the grief and the hurt and the pain is really important. So we do have an emotional pillar, which again is we have a grief support group. Again, so if there's some that don't feel comfortable in an individual setting, we provide that in a group. We also have individual counseling, and believe it or not, we have a wonderful relationship with BetterHelp, which is an online counseling service, and that's really helpful because anybody in the world can get service. So that emotional pillar, again, is extremely the number one important thing for families and moms. Second is the spiritual pillar, again, just spiritual advisement, again, non-denominational, but just really just a prayer group. And again, there is a prayer support group behind there as well. And I feel like that's extremely important. And then we also have the physical pillar, which is really where I started 15 years ago, just trying to balance my hormones naturally. And so the physical portion is really just about your diet. What are you intaking during this time of loss? Because that really just interferes and, moves you through the trajectory of a healthy direction.
Mhm.
And just with the food intake, and also just getting to move out there. We have fitness trainers and nutritionists on our Angel Partner resources, but it's not about going out there and doing a HIIT program right away. It's just about getting out and maybe walking with a group of ladies, or, going out for just a normal walk yourself, just getting out there to move and encouraging them. So that's the physical pillar. So, and then the last pillar that's really important is the social pillar. And that's about just giving back. I felt like that's what I'm in right now. And I'm going to stand in that pillar for a while. Is that social pillar is just to be a testimonial, testimony to other women and family, to say, what, I know exactly how you're feeling. I've been there, and it doesn't feel good, but I'm here for you. And so that's what we want to do. That's that network portion, is that we want to be able to have that full cycle for women and families, but also at the end is to be able to give back to the next one, to help them through that.
Yeah, and that's so important to these ladies that are able to use this opportunity to heal and get better, but then also give back to the
Mhm.
community of women who come after them. One of the things that really struck me when you and I had our conversation before is that emotionally and even physically, your body, the woman's body feels, or
Yes.
even the emotion behind it, as though that baby was born,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's
absolutely.
very heavy,
Hmm.
I'm sure, on families
Yes.
as well as the woman.
Hmm.
So talk to me about how Little Angel Network is getting into the community and creating awareness around people, women who need
Hmm.
this type of service.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, all from experiences that really after the hospital care, I didn't have anything to lean on, nor was I given anything at the hospital. So I felt that my way to fill that gap, and not to say all hospitals are the same. In particular, again, my hospital just didn't have the resources or knowledge at that moment. But what we do is we build care packages, and we deliver those to local hospitals, to birthing centers, and we're finding fertility clinics, we're finding doulas, and all sorts of other centers that honestly I would have never have known about 15 years ago. But what we do is we build these care packages, and it has, a really nice toiletries. It has socks, lip balm, a journal, a pen, a story, a book, really a short story of my story. And then we just try to really package that nicely with our contact information. I personally write every sympathy card with my cell phone number. I want them to be able to feel comfortable to call me, and really just to be able to lean on me. And then what I do from that care package, our hopes is that they contact us, so that again we can then build a relationship, get to know them, but also connect them with the proper licensed professional that can help them. Everybody's different in their journey, in the healing process. So I want to make sure that they don't, if it's 6 months down the road, 6 years, 15 years, like my story, that they can still call. Because again, where I thought I was healed from my loss of my daughter, really until I started talking with other ladies in this, as I'm building this nonprofit, I found myself crying. I was like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, I really did not heal. And so it doesn't matter the amount of years. And so we build those care packages. We get out there, we're boots on the ground, and we only need 2 people. But again, after that is really that relationship building, is making sure that we help them through that journey, and getting them with the right, angel partners immediately, so that we can, again, get them in that cycle and help them through.
Yeah, I love that. So tell the listeners how
Mhm.
they can get involved. What can they do to help Little Angel Network?
Yes, absolutely. So the easiest way is really just reaching out to us on our website. We have our contact information. But again, I mean, and so again, it's Michelle and I who are part of the nonprofit, but we're pretty easy to get in touch with. If you dial the phone number, you're going to reach one of us. Text is always good. Again, we're pretty easy and flexible, and we make that happen to be very easy to work with and contact us, because we pretty much are on all the time in case we do get that phone call from a lady. So again, same thing with our donors, angel partners. They're welcome to just call us at any time and reach out to us.
Okay, wonderful. And they can find you on Facebook and Instagram at your handle, which is Little Angel Network.
Yes.
For the folks who are listening, I will also, as always, put all of the contact information in the show notes. But MJ, if you would just tell us what that contact information here is so that folks can grab that here.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's info@littleangelnetwork.org. Again, Facebook and Instagram is Little Angel Network. Phone number is 832-702-9851. And again, email is always best as well. And our website is www.littleangelnetwork.org.
Okay, fantastic. Now, these care packages, we spent some time talking about that and how people can engage. So how can people help you build these care packages that are being delivered to these women?
Yes, absolutely. So two ways. Easiest way, again, is we're always looking for donations of these individual items. Again, lip balm, socks, lotion, of course, unused. And we place all of those into the care package. And again, our website is the easiest way. Contact us. Second is donations. We really look for sponsorship of these co-branded items. And so we, again, have prices for them. We try to package at least 250 at a time. Unfortunately, we've already gone through most of our care packages for the year. That's not good though, because that means that there's a huge need in our community, and that's only for North Houston. We've not even dabbled into center of Houston and other areas. So we're looking for sponsors and donors to help us in that arena. But even physical material donations, we accept that as well, as long as they're unused.
Fantastic. And I know that people can do a one-time donation. Do you also have some kind of subscription as a sponsorship for Little Angel Network? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And so we have monthly reoccurring subscription. Again, the easiest way is contacting us and visiting the website. We're able to take all that information, make sure it's protected in your privacy. And then we, again, build relationship and take that information. Absolutely.
Awesome. So you've got a really big event coming up at the end of March that you're very excited about. So tell us about that.
Yes, absolutely. So Gadella Winery is our first private label event for the year. Each and every month we have different kind of pop-up wine and different fundraising events, but March 23rd, Thursday from 4 to 7, we're having our first private label event. So for a donation of minimum of $50 or over, there's 4 different wine selections that are gifted. And so we're excited. It got a lot of networking and just opportunity to have a really good time and give back to a great cause. Again, all of the proceeds are going to be put back to being able to give counseling services at no charge to these families and moms. So that we're excited about that, because those services can be pretty expensive. So this is an ability for us to be able to give back to the families and moms to not have to worry about that additional cost after losing a child.
Yeah, absolutely. So March 23rd from 4 to 7. And I love that it's called Sip and Support. I will put the Eventbrite event link in the show notes as well, so that if you're interested in attending that event, you can sign up for that. MJ, we did talk about not just people being able to give in this space of the care packages and monetary donations, but also volunteers. Do you need volunteers?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we do need volunteers anywhere. Again, just once we have the packages, and we have about 50 more packages that we need to build. And so it's kind of an assembly line kind of fun party where, again, we all gather and make those packages. And so we're looking for volunteers to help us with that, but also delivery as well. So we do deliver about 5 packages at a time. So we build a relationship with the hospitals. But if anybody even has a contact, a social worker contact in the hospital system, we would love to build relationship with them. But we do need help with drivers. So if there's if there's a hospital maybe in Friendswood or in League City where we're not, we would love to have the opportunity to deliver those and gift those to a hospital that can have those. So we're definitely need a lot of volunteers in that. We do have upcoming events, like I said, one time a month, where, again, just coming to be an advocate for us and just talking with others and socializing and just, helping us build the rapport out there, and the awareness is extremely helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And if you go out to littleangelnetwork.org, they do have an event calendar out there so that you can keep up with those monthly events that are happening where you can support Little Angel Network. All right. So as we wrap up, MJ, I would like for you to tell us one of your favorite stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So favorite story, just happened recently, and I love, the opportunity that we have. And I give social media a big, advocacy for this, is because we just had a lady who lost her 2-month-old daughter. Um, and that was really hard. But what made it hard on me, and I'll be very transparent, was that the case manager called me to help her. It was a social work situation where low-income family lost the daughter. Social worker calls me and says, what can you help us with? She can't afford the burial service, and she just doesn't know who to turn to. She needs help. Right away, I was, of course, I took the phone call. My husband was with me in the car. I started stuttering because I never thought through burial services. I never thought through funeral services. And then it reminded me that we had built a relationship with a lady who did angel gowns. And so immediately I said, well, you know what? Let me reach out to her. Let me see what I can do to get the baby a gown for the funeral service. And again, did not know funeral services information. So quickly hung up, made some phone calls, got on Facebook. I remember Diane in Dallas, and I would love to give her a shout out. Angel Gowns for Texas. Amazing lady. She answered right away on my message. She called me and she said, you know what? I can send you 2 gowns tonight. And that just really, it made me feel so much more comfortable that I was able to call back to the social worker and said, you know what, we have gowns. Let me just step in and see if I can get funeral services. So right away, Michelle, our community outreach director, she started making phone calls. We found a program who will help her with the funeral services. And so within maybe an hour to 2 hours max, we already had somebody to help her with funeral. We already had angel gowns being delivered and mailed. And it was just the collaboration of effort between people that we've never met, but willing to say, yes, I want to help. That really inspired me. And that gave me just hope. And that there's people that are out there willing to just give and help if you ask. And that was inspiring to me. I wasn't prepared. I'll be honest. I wasn't prepared for funeral services or to get an angel gown. I was ready to help with counseling, and help with, a care package, but that just enforced, just really solidified to me that people do need all sorts of help, and we have to be prepared for that in whatever case that may be. And so it's beyond just what we thought about. It's more than that. And to be an ear at the same time for this lady, and I got to talk with her, and she's hurting. She's really hurting. And so to be able to help a family think of one less thing, like funeral services and a gown, that's what we're about. And so that just really solidified what we do and how much we're able to help. So that's my favorite story so far.
Good. I love that. Well, and it is about creating awareness. There
Yes.
are people out there that don't know you provide this type of service. And now that we're talking about it, we can bring awareness around that, and other organizations that could maybe come in and run parallel programs with you, just like what you were talking about. I got goosebumps. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, MJ, thank you for being on with me today. I'm very excited about getting Little Angel Network out in front of more people, creating that awareness, driving some activity around the events that you're putting out there, and hopefully driving some monetary or even physical donations for these care packages that you're delivering.
Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Again, we're just anywhere we can help here in the Houston area. And again, we can deliver our packages anywhere around the world. We've delivered a few already across the world into Uganda and different locations. So again, if we can be of any help to anyone, we're definitely there for them.
I love that. Thank you so much, MJ, for being with me today.
Thank you so much, Trisha.
All right. And that concludes this week's podcast, Serving the Community.